Good afternoon. Welcome, all of you, to this beautiful church, and thank you to Tim and to the church for your hospitality to us and for the technological expertise for which we're very grateful. It's so good to be here. I haven't met all of you. My name is Ricarda. I've only been in the Trust since January, leading the chaplaincy team. It's my delight to be here today, along with Rosemary, one of our team, who's going to be taking a part in this service as well. We're still in such strange times, aren't we? In normal circumstances, we would be lots of us all together, gathering in the cathedral. But like so often through this last year, we few are here both for ourselves and for other people on behalf of others. And this short service is going to be recorded and will be seen by so many more than just us, we hope, through the Trust as it is released tomorrow on International Nurses Day. So what we're doing here is very short, but it's important. It's a day which is a moment in time to pause and to reflect on that sense of vocation in all of us, which is about why we do what we do, especially through this last year. As you all know, nursing is not just a job. It gets into our DNA somehow. It's about who we are. And so today is about giving thanks for us, for our teams, for our departments and offices and clinics and places of work, and for all those pieces of care which we have been part of, not just over this last year, but through so many years of our lives as we have given our working time and so much more to this profession. In just a second, you're going to see a message from the Dean of Coventry, filmed in the cathedral where we would have been had it not been for COVID this year.
Usually we welcome you here to the cathedral for this International Nurses Day, and it's a particular joy for us to do that. Of course, sadly at the moment it's not possible to welcome you in person because of the COVID restrictions. But I just wanted to assure you that you are in our prayers today, as you are each day, and to thank you for all that you do in caring for us and for so many people as nurses here in Coventry and throughout the region and farther afield. It has been an extraordinary and challenging year. Here in the cathedral, we recognise the reality of loss, but we also speak of hope, and this great baptistry window behind me has a blaze of light coming into this space, and that's there to show the light of hope breaking into what can be a perplexing and challenging world, despite the glorious colours of life that we have all around us. And so this is a place where we look forward to welcoming you again in years to come, a place where we recognise the challenges, but we also share hope. And I wanted to assure you of our prayers and our blessings today and each day going forward. May God be with you in all that you do, and thank you once again. We hope to see you soon.
And I'm going to ask Petty to come and read about the flame of Florence Nightingale. She wasn't the first nurse nor the only nurse, but the way that Florence Nightingale did her nursing set a blueprint for so many thousands of nurses to follow. Petty.
Today, our world needs healing and to be rekindled with love. Once, Florence Nightingale lit her beacon of lamplight to comfort the wounded. Her light has blazed a path of service across a century to us. Through her example and through the countless nurses and healers who have followed in her footsteps. Today, we celebrate the flame of Florence Nightingale's legacy. Let that same light be rekindled to burn brightly in our hearts. let us take up our own lanterns of caring, each in our own ways, to more brightly walk our own paths of service to the world, to more clearly share our own noble purpose with each other. May human caring become the lantern for the 21st century. May we better learn to care for ourselves, for each other, and for all creation. Through our caring, may we be the keepers of that flame, that our spirits may burn brightly to kindle the hearts, as of our children and great-grandchildren, as they, too, follow in these footsteps.
As we've already said, it's been quite a year. The poem that Rosemary is going to come and read to you is by a chaplain called David Buck, who's also a poet, and his words try to express something about what's been gained and what's been lost over these last months, and also what is the gold that we can gather from all that has happened.
The world will be different when we have learned again to touch and feel and hold. When what the shadows of anxiety and fear have taught us has been birthed in light. When virtual is a place we choose not to go because real is truth. When greed bends and gives to poverty, justice, need, being prepared, and old age. When patience does not need to be separated by high-vis tape on a pavement. When forgiveness flows easy and laughter does not need to be taught or practiced. When workers are valued for who they are and what they do, as well as for how much we need them. When neighbourliness, pulling together, and love are forever and not just in a crisis. When the grown-ups play in the park on a work day, and it's okay, and we can stay. When we are not so busy, when we can look and listen, when we know it's for the living. They say that when this is all over, when we are free to come and go, the world will be different.
The world will be different, and we see some of that differentness falling into place even just this week, and we trust over the weeks and months and years ahead. In just a few moments, Nicola's going to read the poem that you may be familiar with by Michael Rosen. He wrote it more than a decade ago, and of course, so much has happened to him as well as to the NHS since. He wrote it, I think, for the 60th anniversary of the NHS. You might have heard him talking on the radio and all the other social media things about his experience of having COVID, learning to walk again with a stick that he called Sticky McStick Stick. I love that. The poem that he wrote is about hands, our hands. It strikes me that even in the lovely blue gloves that our hands are quite often inserted into, these hands reach out for others. I had the great privilege of holding somebody's hands the other day, and it seemed as if the blue glove, which was still between us, had no power against the compassion that was given both from her and to her. in that hand-holding. When we reach out our hands, we play a particular part in providing care for our patients and their families, and as we support our colleagues who work alongside us. As we stretch out our hands to do our work, we say to others, you matter, you're important to us, and you're cared for by the efforts of many who value you and your needs. So perhaps as you hear these words in a moment, you might like to just look at your hands, these amazing, caring, compassionate, skilled hands that contribute so much to the care offered in our places of work. I know that hands can do so much damage as well. Actually, today is not about the damage. Today is about the healing and the holding of our hands and so many others. And as you reflect on all that you do, know that your care, your work over this last year and over so many decades is so valued and so important. We have so much to honour and give thanks for today, partly because we're part of it, but also because we depend on the care that is given at the hands of nurses. As babies, we're born into someone's hands, most of us, and when we die, someone's hands will soothe us and cleanse us and wrap us again securely. We have done amazing things. You have done amazing things. Never underestimate the importance of all that you do. Nicola.
These are the hands that touch us first. Feel your head, find the pulse, and make your bed. These are the hands that tap your back, test the skin, hold your arm and wheel the bin. Change the bulb, fix the drip, pour the jug, replace your hip. These are the hands that fill the bath, mop the floor, flick the switch, soothe the sore, burn the swabs, give us a jab, throw out sharps, design the lab. These are the hands that stop the leaks, empty the pan, wipe the pipes, carry the can, clamp the veins, make the cast, log the dose, and touch you last.
Today is also about remembering and honouring those who we've lost over this last year. All of you here and watching this will have patients in your hearts who've died. Many of us have loved ones as well who are there living within us even so. And remembering is one of the ways in which we go on loving, because people continue to be part of us and our lives are shaped by others. And so as you hold your own memories and your prayers, we're going to listen to a song sung by the boy choristers from the cathedral, Ancient Words, about the peace that God gives. And then as that song comes to an end, Rosemary will lead us in the act of remembrance. The words are in your sheet just before we close with a blessing.
In the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, we remember them. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. At the end of a shift and at its beginning, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us, and we remember them.
So as we have remembered and we continue to remember, and as we've given thanks and honoured the work and the life that we share in, hear these words of blessing as this service comes to a close. Life is short, and we do not have much time to gladden the hearts of those who travel the way with us. So be swift to love and make haste to be kind. And God, who travels the way with us, will bless us. Amen.